My name is Mike and I'm a product manager with the Aidbox FHIR platform, and today I will be a moderator of a session. So this time we decided to give an opportunity to talk about the updates of Aidbox to the tech leads. We have here Maxim, Vlad, Vitaly, and we have here Vasily. We also have here Nikolai. He's the CDO with the Health Samurai. So on a monthly basis, we are updating Aidbox, and all the updates are available on release notes page. So all the new updates of Aidbox are delivered within several hours, so maybe not more than a day after they are published by our engineers, and they are available on the image that has tag Edge. It's highly unstable. We do not recommend to use it in any pre-production or production environments, but this is the way to get the updates as soon as possible. Each month we are updating latest and stable images, so everything that was developed within a month becomes latest and goes through our internal quality assessment procedure and reviews, and then latest release within a month becomes a stable release. Twice a year, we are publishing long-term support releases, and the support window for these highly stable images is 2 years. So if you don't want to get updates of Aidbox and use highly stable images of our product, please consider using LTS versions of Aidbox. Okay, let's go ahead. The first gem of our recent release is SQL and FHIR engine. Basically, it's a bridge between FHIR ecosystem and world and SQL-powered systems. This engine allows to work with heavily nested FHIR data really efficiently and make it not only interoperable as it is, but also queryable and analyzable. We are the first, I would say, in the world, and that's true, implementers of a SQL and FHIR engine that allows to create flattened representations of FHIR resources using the so-called view definition. And this is a resource, and this is a spec that an initiative group of SQL and FHIR has been working for about half a year.
This topic is very hot. So we already have in the team like Josh Mandel and other nice guys, and the last connected on Graham Grieve joined us, so that give us some hope that SQL and FHIR will become standard much faster than we were expecting.
It's not a secret that Aidbox has established and introduced SQL API very, very long ago, and it is highly required by all of our customers. But the point here is that previously you had to write SQL queries that were a bit difficult to start with, because you had to be aware of JSON binary format that Aidbox stores data. And now you basically will use just a SQL to write your queries, so you can compare these two requests. Both of them allow to find patients who had an encounter after a specific date that happened in a specific locations managed by a specific organization. And these are the first steps by our team, and I invite Vasily to give a small demo, and please feel free to give questions.
Hello. So as Mike mentioned, SQL on FHIR is an upcoming standard for flattening FHIR. FHIR can be deeply nested, and it's not a good fit for relational model. And when you use SQL, it's generally desirable to have a flat table. So the best approach is to do it on a case-by-case basis and define your view for your purpose. Let's just see some examples and compare it with SQL queries using just regular JSONB operations. So the first one is simple view, which shows us patient ID and their name and gender. So the main thing here is alias and path. Alias is the name of the column we create. So for example, here is patient ID. This means we create column patient ID in our view. And path is a FHIR path expression, which defines how to extract data. So for example, here is given join by space, and this means we get given names and join them by space. The next thing is for each. So if you have array in your data, for each we'll create a row for each element of the array from FHIR path expression. So for each patient name, we will create a row which contains given names and family. This query looks in SQL much more harder. So you need to know about lateral joins, some tricky ways to convert JSON arrays to strings and then concatenate them. This really is complicated and becomes very, very complicated and manageable fast. So the next small example is condition resource. This example is simpler, but it shows some more FHIR path. So you can use where, which is a filter in your FHIR path data. So for example, here we get all codes which are from the SNOMED coded system. And then we just define our columns and expressions how to extract it. So for example, the equivalent SQL looks like this. So you need to make you need to know SQL JSON language, you need to know how to make it string and write all of this. And when you need to do some joins, it will be much harder. For example, when we create view definitions, Aidbox automatically creates views, and you can just use your usual SQL to query it with your where and other conditions, joins, everything you need. And when you use regular SQL, it becomes very, very complicated. For example, this is just a copy of the line here, and it is needed for join, and you just don't see what does it do, unlike simple query on views. Actually, all these FHIR path queries are in our community notebook, which is SQL on FHIR preview notebook. So I encourage you to try to play with it.
Great, thanks a lot. Please, please play with the notebook and reach out to us. We are looking forward for the pilot implementations, and we are looking forward for use cases. If you can share with us your use cases, we can definitely implement it and show how it works. Yeah, the next huge update in Aidbox is an implementation of FHIR R4B and FHIR R5 Topic-based subscriptions. This new functionality allows everyone to plug Aidbox into pub/sub architectures. It gives a really predictable and stable way to notify external systems about the updates of the data that happened in Aidbox. Here are some use cases that might be implemented, but again, we encourage you to reach out to us with your cases and let's discuss it. And we are looking for a pilot project for pilot implementations. I will not be talking too much because I'm pretty sure Maxim will give a deep overview of this feature.
Yeah, sorry, it looks like you didn't give me enough time to make a deep overview, so it will be short overview, but I hope I'll have time for deep overview in future.
Okay.
So my name is Max. I will introduce you to Aidbox brand new and actually FHIR brand new topic-based subscription module and specification in FHIR terms. So first, a brief overview of the standard, and then I'll show a demo how it works with Aidbox. So what is topic-based subscription? The second part, subscription, is quite easy. It's just a way to tell FHIR server to actively notify a client on a change. So it makes the FHIR server reactive. It will push the messages. It's actually not the first implementation and the specification. FHIR has R4 version, which is query-based subscription, and even before this, some CDC hooks was implemented, which all work for the same task. Aidbox actually implemented a query-based subscription even earlier than FHIR. Our subscription IP is really similar, and we never have time to support the actual FHIR R4 because we waited for topic-based to be finalized. I didn't have time to explain all the difference. Query-based is actually not a bad implementation. It's quite simple and robust, but it has a limitation which doesn't allow to provide some guarantees on delivery and to make it work easily for a big number of subscribers and so on. But for some cases, it's really great way to make subscription. But back to topic-based. So topic-based part means that the specification is built around pops up topic approach, a topic pattern. The main part of this is a logical channel topic, which is predefined by the system and to which publisher, in our case, it's Aidbox, could write the messages and number of subscriptions could receive them. So subscriber could make some filters to only subset of the messages, and subscribers know their place in this topic. So they can be redelivered with messages, they could track what was delivered to them, and so on. So now to specification. Actually, good source information and for topic-based subscription is a FHIR description for the framework, and actually we trying to deliver a good useful information in our documentation. I think that we will share the link after our meeting, but I'll give you a really brief overview. So FHIR topic-based subscription is built around two main resources. First one is a subscription topic. It's a canonical resource, which means that it's identified by globally unique URL, and it's usually can be created by the user. So it's something which a server could implement and advertise. So the main goal of subscription topic is to provide FHIR server clients with information what is available for subscription to this service. So it's say what will be a trigger for events which will be delivered, what filters you could apply to this, and it also provides some additional limitation like for subscription, what channel it supports, and so on. I will show on the demo these parts. And second resource, which is fundamental for topic-based subscription, is the subscription itself. It's actually a resource which user create as a request for notification. It should specify the topic, and it specifies the channel by which user wants the messages to be delivered. It could specify filters and some other setting. So, for example, let's pretend that we are a FHIR server in a clinical laboratory, and we could specify a subscription topic for observation in finalized status. So it will be our trigger. And we could specify filters, for example, for managing organization of the patient for whom the observation was finalized. And this way, this organization who refers the patient to laboratory could subscribe only for their patients. Okay, now let's move to the demo itself. Topics require some configuration for my Aidbox part. It's not very complex, but still we prepared a Aidbox project template, which you could just clone and start. And all what I'm going to show you will be on my version of this project, just started in Docker locally. So now let's first revise the configuration. We use Aidbox projects for configuration, and in main entry point, you may see our topic. So first important part here is the topic definition. It's actually just a subset of FHIR topic resource, which I described with configuration. Here is a really simple example, but you may see here that URL specified. It's how this topic will be available for the users. It describes the source trigger. In our case, it's only will be triggered by observation with additional FHIR pass criteria. In Aidbox, we now have a really good interpreter for FHIR pass. Vasily already showed how we use this for SQL on FHIR. And here we use this to describe what user could subscribe to. And actually, FHIR specification uses the same FHIR pass mechanism to make filters. It's really powerful. So in this case, we say that only resources with value quantity greater than 10 will be part of this topic. You could use current and previous version of the resources in FHIR pass, and in this way to describe some changes. So for example, and at can filter by section, we allow to subscribe only on value increase observation when some value was larger in next version than in previous one. It's completely made up example, but it's allowed to understand what it allowed to do. It actually has a lot other settings. I will not show them. You could read in documentation, but it's just a basic version. Second part you need to specify is topic storage. I will skip this. It's quite technical. The only interesting part here is max content field, which is related to what will be available in topic in maximum resource. So it's maybe important to not give a full resource as something what users clients could subscribe to, because it's depend on your policies. Then our Aidbox entry point start with this topic. That's all. And maybe one additional interesting part is that we support topic-based subscription both for R4B and for R5 versions. It was initially created by community for R5 version, but was backported to R4 with a profile. So to start this with your R4 FHIR server, as easy as to add official profile to the FHIR and specify 430 version. Okay, now we're done with configuration. Our template have Aidbox and also demo service where we could review the notification. So it's what we will receive the notification and show them for us. As you may see right now, we didn't have any notification yet. In Aidbox, we have a notebook, which I will use in our demo, but also the same comments are listed here as a curl operation. So if you want to do this from your terminal, it's maybe more convenient for you. We have an ability to list what topics are available on FHIR server. It's as easy to make a real operation for subscription topic. First request will take some time because I just started the Aidbox. You may see here that we only have one topic resource, and it contains all the same information which I showed you in configuration. So it's actually a valid FHIR subscription topic resource. The important part here is URL, which we'll use later when we need to create a subscription. Let's move to subscription. The usual FHIR create operation will create a subscription. Interesting part here is a backport subscription profile. As I said, we use R4B version here, and it's required to be included in the request. The criteria is the actual link to topic. And now to stress interesting parts. So first, here is a filter applied to the topic. In this case, I only want to receive notification on observation where value is equal to 42. Some additional headers could be specified for every request, for example, auth headers. Here is the settings for endpoint where we'll receive the notification, and some additional settings. The most interesting is max count. A subscription allows you to batch notification and receive them in pockets of multiple events. In this case, I ask to batch notification with max count equal to 2 and with heartbeat period equal to 20. So which will happen first, or we have 2 notification, or we have 20 seconds elapsed to receive the next batch with notification. Let's try to create this. As you may see from the response, the subscription was created in status requested. At this moment, Aidbox actually tries to establish handshake with Aidbox with the use of task. It's actually already done. And we may see that we receive a handshake notification in our subscription test service. So from this moment, all suitable events will be delivered to the subscription. Let's try to create observation. As we set it max count equal to 2, we need at least 2 observations to receive the notification immediately. So I believe it's already here. It's an event type event notification. It's our header, and it's a resource type bundle here. As we requested to subscription to only receive ID only, we didn't have a full resource body, only headers with ID of the resources. The interesting part here is that all events are numbered, and it's important because it's allow the client to track if they miss some events, and to recover from the situation when you miss some events, the events operation exists. So you might request any events which you didn't receive for any reason. For example, your service was down, and when it recovered, you will receive a heartbeat notification. And from this, you understand what is the last delivered message, and you could request events which you miss for this time.
Max, I'm very sorry, but we have a couple of minutes, no more.
Okay, I actually was going to stop already. So status separation easy. I will skip this. Maybe last thing I will show you is an administrator panel for subscription topic. Here, it lists all topics available with some information, and in topic you could review some status information, settings, and all available subscription, with ability to manage the subscription and review what was delivered to them. I think it's everything I have time to. I only could briefly mention that it's also have integration with Prometheus and Grafana for alert and monitoring services. And I think that on some other event, I will have time to explain how it's all work inside and how we could extend this functionality. So thank you.
Thanks, Max. Thanks a lot. Thank you for the overview. And the next 2 topics are devoted to logging and auditing. Starting from August, Aidbox can send logs to Google Cloud Monitoring. So if you are using this service, you can work with it. And the second point The second update is about auditing in Aidbox. We have supported basic audit log pattern IG for audit event resources, and Aidbox started logging CRUD and search operations and provides UI to take a look at these audit events. So Vlad, please go ahead with demos.
In order to demonstrate you how Aidbox can be integrated with Google logging system, we deployed Kubernetes cluster and enabled here feature logging for workloads. And in Aidbox, we specified an variable, as Mike showed to you, and we can go to our config and find here that log appender for Google format tested out is enabled. There is also previous tested out. I forgot to remove. It will not affect Google logging, but just produce twice more error logs if there are. If we go to Aidbox and see Aidbox in Kubernetes and have a look at logs here, we can see that Aidbox produces logs in JSON format, and all those logs from stdout are gathered by Google Logs, and we can jump into Log Explorer and see them here. Yeah, if, for example, we run some query like config, we can find here all logs from all services running, and we can just search for Aidbox logs, for example, and see that it produces a lot of health endpoints. And here are our config requests. So we can jump here and search for by operation ID, show matching entries, and see all logs related to the specific query. So this is how Google logging works. So we transformed some parameters. So that is why Google understands some fields like HTTP request. It shows in a more readable way. And that is all. As for bulb, let's just imitate some activity on our Aidbox, create some user, some patient, and let's copy this identifier. Then we create an encounter, and we forgot to attach patient to this encounter. So we can patch this one and attach here subject. The reference, patient, and they want to patch this encounter. So, and we just run few queries, and we can now go to audit events. Oops, not patch, but get, and see them created. So this is audit events in FHIR format in according to bulb implementation guide. But let's have a look at them not in a REST console, but with our hidden endpoint. Yeah. This is a viewer. It is hidden for now, but still available, and this is under development and will be released in September. So what we can see here, so we created a patient, and yeah, we can see how this patient looks like. Audit event, sorry. And this is like in conformance with profile bulb. So we can jump here and see how it should look like. So if we, for example, yeah, open encounter one audit event for encounter, it will be in conformance with just a basic audit event. And there is another one for basic audit event for patient create. This is the same as the previous one, but it attaches reference to a patient. What we can see in our another audit event for patch encounter. So we can see here that we have reference to patient and reference to encounter we interacted with. So this is all we have for audit events. For now, we supported all REST activities from create for basic profile to query. And for patients also, all REST operations are supported now. So please try and give us feedback.
Great, thanks. So I would also try to recollect that Aidbox might act not only as a FHIR platform, but it can work as an audit record repository. Basically, you can post all these audit events. Or any external system can produce these audit events and put it to Aidbox via just a regular FHIR API. And Aidbox will be responsible for handling and for viewing these audit events in audit log. Let's go further. One more. I don't have much time for slides, but one more topic that we would like to discuss is that what we have enhanced in our forms. We have heavily worked with forms accessibility. So Vitaly, please go ahead.
Thank you, Mike. We have Aidbox module, Aidbox forms module in our Aidbox, which gives the ability to capture some data from patients or other people. And in this release, we implement the basic accessibility according to the standard, and this includes two parts: keyboard navigation and screen readers. For example, I just show you the simplest in the use case. For now, I will just create a form that I want to share with patient. Create a form, have a link, send it to patient, and now I am, as a patient, trying to open this form. Yeah, and now you can see this form rendered on my screen, and when I can type on tab button, you already see that focus goes up and down. Also, I can select items with keyboard and go deeper. This form is called like dynamic form. It's more complex. Some answers can affect additional form logic. And I think this is all that I can show you, because the second part is just screen reader. I need to go through voice through my microphone, but I don't know how to make it right now. And I think
we believe you. Yeah, thanks a lot. Thank you so much. We have one more basic topic. Aidbox commits to support long-term support releases, and we are committed to backporting critical bug fixes and security updates to the LTS versions. And recently we have increased the support window for 2 years. So right now 2306 and 2302 images got promoted to LTS, and the scheduled end of life is August 2025, and I would say April 2025. And that's all for us and for the updates. Do you have a plan to add your token introspector authentication mechanism to your subscription?
Yeah, I think question to me. Yeah, we actually
have a plan for this for the maybe next release. We will busy with implementing the core of the functionality, and now we have time to implement some additional features.
Yeah, we are actively looking for the use cases for pilot integrations. So if you have any ideas on what it might be or it can be, please reach out to us via your customer success managers, or reach out to us via website or any channels. We are looking forward to talk to you about how it might work and what we can do to support you. We are definitely looking forward to speaking with you about these updates and how you can use these updates in your projects and products. Yeah, so happy Thursday. Thanks a lot.